Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Thursday, January 22nd, and welcome back. This is your place for helpful news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions, and today the show is brought to you in part by the weather feed. Wherever you are, whenever you listen, it may be getting cold there. And I don't know about you, Alex. I'm expecting some cold temperatures, but I am not expecting it to get as cold as some of our friends are. I saw Tori's post in the general chat suggesting it might be a good idea to get a little tent, make a room inside of a room to stay warm. But the cake taker, the cherry on top for me, is this post from our friend of the show, Cody, aka Seavish, who is posting from the Dakotas. And I just want you to look at this. Look at this. Negative 53 with the wind chill. Is that even habitable? Look at that.
Yeah, I remember when I was in undergrad, as soon as it would get below negative 30 on the wind chill, they would cancel school for cold.
Yeah, dude. In the UP, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on because the wind coming off Lake Superior was always frigid.
Brutal.
Hang on.
He's got to go check the wind on Lake Superior. Or perhaps he's getting us some snow. Let us know what the forecast is like where you are. Hopefully you're staying warm. And if you're not in the community yet, where I showed that link, then head on over to community.rumshq.com. It's in the bio wherever you are, whenever you listen. We would really love to see you there because it's totally free to join, and it's a great place to just share fun stuff like that. Cody has also been writing an excellent series breakdown on comparing his experience as a Kraken user with his experience as a Coinbase user. It's been very helpful. Lots of differences. People always ask us, what's the best thing about this platform, that platform, yada, yada. He's doing the work. And in the community, you'll find a couple other things I want to draw your attention to today. Principally, Alex, could you possibly screen share when you're done with that comment? Thank you. It's no rush. One of our regular friends of the show, very helpful, community members, and you know her here on TikTok if you watch the show here, is Jessica Pennington. She has been making the most of a Forbes subscription to share a lot of the stuff that they do with us, newsletters, articles that are crypto interested. And she has shared with us they have this seminar that they're doing that she says looks like it should be pretty good. So you can sign up for that there. That's the kind of thing we've got in the community. And if you fill out this survey that Tori continues to post here, giving feedback on what you think about the show, then you, yes, you, will be eligible to win. We're going to pick today somebody to win an Arculus cold storage wallet. So what you need to do is head over to community.rumshq.com, create an account in about 2 minutes, and then once you sign up, just ask somebody if you don't see it, hey, where's the link? And I promise you somebody will answer. Solum says it. It's true. You too could be a winner.
This is a gross misrepresentation of the facts.
Alex, everyone is a winner when they get cold storage. And if you don't have the opportunity to fill out the form, if you don't win the wallet today, then you can head to getarculus.com, use the code RUMS10 to get 10% off your order. Or if you're a vet, you'll get 25% off. How cool is that? And you can even buy it on the TikTok shop. They have an official profile, and the code there is ARCURUMS10. It is super simple. Alex, I did want to show you this. One last thing, which is, have you seen some of the responses that have been rolling in about the survey?
I haven't looked in a minute, but I've seen a couple of them.
So we've got 19 responses so far. Not too crowded a field. If you're trying to win an Arculus wallet, you've got a 1 in 20 chance. The odds are very good. And it asks basically about trust and credibility, what you think about the show, why you watch. I really do, though, want to shout out, how would you rate your trust in Rise Up Media's educational content? This is on a scale of 1 to 10. And 19 people rated us a 10. But I got to tell you, I have a lot of respect for the 2 people filling out this survey who said 8 and 9. I feel like what is right is not always popular. And what is popular is not always right.
I hope there is a comment.
I hope there is too. I really want to know.
Because the most helpful feedback is like when something's not good and then there's like a specific, a specific comment or a specific piece of feedback.
Yes. Yes. And be sincere, be thorough, but concise. Don't hold back. If there's something we can do to improve, we really, really need to know.
For context, just to show how serious I am, for the first like however many years of Evan and I's working together and us like going after clients and trying to get people to work with us, it was always the same thing. It was always, make the pitch, get exclusively good feedback, never hear from them again. No one ever said anything negative. No one was ever like, no, this is too much. This, I don't take this seriously. I don't care about that. Don't like that. You said this was weird, whatever. None of that. It was always, wow, this is just incredible. Oh, do you want to work together? Oh, no.
Then they just slowly
and
ghost us.
It's just not helpful. So if something could be better, please tell us.
Yeah, please do tell us. And tell us, the other thing I wanted to ask your input on today is tell us about the scholarship. Bearded in the comments says, don't forget about the scholarship section. We need your input on the scholarship. Actually, probably first I should show you the link to get there. If you're in the community and you search for Rise Up Scholarship or Community Scholarship, you will come to a post that's got all kinds of information and a helpful link to take you right to the scholarship page. It's a simple web checkout. You can pick a gift of any size from $1 up to $10,000, and I've got some ideas for what we might start to do with these scholarship funds. Alex, can I run one by you, or is there something you want to get into first? Because I've been yapping a lot today.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever. I've got WEF stuff. I've got more bill stuff.
You better kick it back to me then.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't want to talk about that bill anymore, but we probably do need to. I will make this brief, and I will let you know the last commercial I'll make is that we're going to end the show a little bit early today at about the top of the hour to start the Circle After Show. The reason we are always telling you to get into a community of crypto users is because it is the fastest way to learn. It saves you the most money, the most headache. You get to learn from other people's experience. And so we do this every Thursday. We end the morning show. We go into Circle at community.rumshq.com and we start a video call there. It's like the show, but you're there too. We can welcome everybody on stage. We can talk back and forth. We can get to know each other and answer your crypto questions. If that sounds good, please do. Please do. Check it out at community.rumshq.com. Kryptonite says, just signed up. Could you repeat where the Arculus thing was? Yes, it's in the general chat. Ask someone there because I'm going to do a live show. I promise they will help you. Any channel you get in, if you say, help, I'm new here, 5 people will just, and they'll be like, wow, welcome, you're great. Here's what you're looking for. I promise you. Thank you for signing up, and thank you for your feedback. Okay, here's my proposal for the scholarship, Alex. Are you ready for this? I've got 3. Count them. 3 ideas for you. And I think everybody is really going to like them. The first idea I want to propose to you, to the community, ladies, gentlemen, monsters, and machines, is I want to name each tier of the scholarship after the first person who contributes at that particular level. For example, I happen to know our good friend and chief fact-checked officer, Bearded, is transferring some tokens because he has a plan to contribute at the $10 level. He had $10 of USDC, and I thought to myself, what could be a better way to honor that gift than by calling it the Bearded First Gift Scholarship? I feel like $10 is a pretty attainable number for many of our friends. A lot of people would be really proud to be in the beard tier. You know what I'm saying? If Jito wanted to show their love, like Dr. Nick said yesterday, I would tell them, great, get a sponsorship of any of these tokens by making the first gift. Make a gift of $1 or $5 or $250. You can't take the $2,500 tier because that's the Rise Up tier. We get to name that.
It's named after me.
It's the Alex tier now. There we go. It's great.
I'm a big fan of this.
So you can claim a tier. What do you think about that? If you're the first gifted a tier, I would love to be able to give that person the naming right. And then next year, we'll do it all over again.
I dig it.
And we're going to do a different little piece of art for every tier. That'll be a great way to honor some of the different submissions coming in. Like Bearded, my favorite art that you submitted is that Boon Squad. I would love to have the $10 beard token Boon Squad token, or maybe I could steal that GIF you made of the globe rotating for the $2,500 level because I want that in my wallet. That's proposal number 1. Proposal number 2 is more specific, oriented around an educational initiative that I want to use the scholarship for. So, Bearded Hats, GM, congratulations. Wizard Art, annual is good. Lots of good comments. Everybody loves the Boon Squad. The second proposal I want to make to you is we have a friend, Sandra, who's been on the show before. Her community is Onboard 60, and her focus as a senior citizen is to help other senior citizens who are less tech savvy, less confident, learn about cryptocurrency, blockchain, AI, all new age technologies that they will encounter. And she does it in a really helpful way. She's created many resources for this over the years, and I reached out to her and I was like, hey, this was inspired by Bob Faubel. Bob, if you're watching the show, hope you're well. He said that he was getting together a gathering of friends who were all in their 70s like him, and that he wanted to talk to them about what he was learning in crypto, but he really wasn't sure how to do it. He wasn't sure if he could technically explain it, if he would be able to answer all their questions. And I said, listen, man, the first thing you got to do is meet people where they are, but would it be helpful if we had a workshop specifically oriented around that? So I would like to propose that we take out some of the scholarship money that we have seeded to make a free for all to attend workshop, probably sometime in February, with Sandra, focusing on if you are a senior citizen, somebody who's 65 and older, or you're a senior citizen at heart, because everybody's tired this January, then hey, come to this workshop. Learn about crypto. Learn how to talk about crypto in a helpful way, and ask your questions with somebody who spends time doing this every day. What do you think about it, Alex? I'm proposing that we set aside $500 for the workshop and the right to use a recording of it in perpetuity to post it and fairly compensate her for the time and creative energy. I think that would be a really good asset to have.
It's a good maiden voyage.
A good maiden voyage. Are you angling for the pirate ship?
No.
No. That is not what I was going to propose, but I do want to bring everyone up to speed that Solum Spartan, the chief gift officer, proposed that not only should we fund this scholarship and make it a boon, but then we should use it to buy a pirate ship. So that's on the table. Just saying. Would be cool.
Could be the move.
But let's do an educational workshop or two first. And then the second thing I want to propose is, okay, that technically is the third thing. The naming, that's one. The Senior Citizens Workshop, Sonoran says, I think that's awesome. And the third thing is, I've said this before when we were launching the Unlock Scholarship, is I really do want to start doing what we do in the community, what we do on the show, in real life, in a physical space. And so I would really like to fund one Rise Up IRL. I want to put the challenge out there. If you are somebody in the community, in the audience who's listening and wants to host a educational crypto workshop, a meetup in your city, and preferably in a city where we know some of our community members live. And by host, I basically just mean you'll take the onus to get a list of places that people could meet, maybe order the pizza, that kind of thing. And then we can help fund it. We can help fund the rental of a room if you want to make it a talk. We can help fund the buying of the pizza. We can help fund transportation if somebody needs to get there from an hour away or something like that. We would love to start Rise Up IRL. So if that sounds good to you, if naming the scholarship sounds good to you, if a free workshop to help senior citizens learn about crypto and new technology sounds good to you, then leave us something in the chat. I don't want to do Calvin Hill. Leave a 1 in the chat, but send us a 1 is okay. Send us a number in the chat and let us know if you're interested in any of those things. And if you're really interested in helping, then you can make a gift of any size to the Unlock sponsored Rise Up Community Scholarship. I mean, It's awesome. We've been talking about this for a long time. Alex was the one who really was like, guys, we should be doing micro grants, helping people who need a little help to get access, to get a piece of tech, to get a subscription, and now we're doing it. So you can find the link to the community scholarship, to the survey. You can find so much more at community.rumshq.com. Alex, I got to know, aside from the pirate ship, aside from those things, is there anything particular that you'd like to throw in the ring as we should fund this right now?
Besides the pirate ship?
Pirate ship's on the table, dude.
Okay. No,
we're
not
going
right
boat
now.
shopping.
I'm more interested in getting the fund set up and to a healthy spot, and then, intaking requests and applications and proposals and kind of starting to go through it that way.
Wall Street says, the Rise Up Bar and Grill.
Nailed it.
Pirate themed. That's what we've been here the whole time for. We've been slowly circling our way towards building enough trust and raising money the very slow way to fund our own restaurant on Tybee Island.
Yep. To rug everyone and make a restaurant.
And there's a pirate ship in the back if we need to make a quick getaway. The building, Jay Heat says, is a pirate ship.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. Let us know what your ideas are. I agree, Alex. I think it'd be great to just have a forum. Tori, maybe you could whip this up, a forum in the community that people can use to propose scholarships, and we could create a channel that is just for scholarship token holders to talk about these things, to debate about it, to figure out what's the best way to use this money. More coming soon, but for now, thank you for trusting us to help make this stuff happen. It's very cool. Alex, do you want to tell me a little about what's happening on the bigger stage, where the real money is, the real pirate ships are in Switzerland at the World Economic Forum?
Yeah, sure. We can go through it. So pull up a little highlight reel. Interestingly, typically, crypto has, or I guess the last couple of years at least, crypto has at least been a talking point here, but not necessarily like the main focus. And it really is like on the center stage in a bigger way this year. Pretty much all of the chatter is about a couple key concepts: the idea of regulatory clarity, which we'll get into in a second, tokenization, and enterprise grade blockchain stuff, which is interesting because in addition to that, right, the tokenization talk, BlackRock is out there talking about, basically putting all of this stuff in one place, like the idea of a common chain. And so all of the comments naturally are, full ETH, which would track. That's where they've been doing stuff already. It would make sense. It would make sense to stay there. So that's interesting, especially, contrasted with the whole corporate chain thing, who's currently being shilled as the potential home base for all of this kind of stuff versus like, where is it actually ending up? Again, like we said, I'm not going to go back through all of the like kind of vague nothingness about crypto capitals of the world. That doesn't mean shit to me. The Genius Act got some highlights. There's, still the pushback in exactly the same places that it has been.
Can somebody please clip "that doesn't mean shit to me" so I can get it on my soundboard? Thank you.
It doesn't. One thing that I thought was interesting is kind of this goal, this attempt of the elites to manifest retail investment and participation by just saying that it's coming this year. And I just think it's so out of touch, and really just kind of honestly, that is one of the things that leads me to be more skeptical than I was before about the potential for 2026 to be anything like, people are sort of hoping that it will be. I think a flat year, minorly up, minorly down, overall sketchy, choppy with repeated manipulation efforts. But like, why does anybody think retail is just suddenly going to flood in? Like, what's changed?
I also want to know why everybody kind of thinks like the institutional adoption of crypto technology is going to lead to a bunch of bag pumping. You know what I'm talking about?
No, that was never on the table. But
I think for Bitcoin, it's on the table, but that's about it. And then Bitcoin will drag stuff up. But I just don't think it's I'm seeing a lot more of that this week.
If something can work with one particular asset, and it leads to a pump in everything else, then again, that's not like indicative of anything other than speculation, which doesn't change the game at all. It has nothing to do with institutions. I reject wholeheartedly the idea that institutions, this kind of vague concept of institution, I'm getting so sick of that word. I don't know. These people, these entities.
These pests?
There you go. That's it. Why does anyone think they're interested in sharing? Like, what's the thought here that like all of a sudden the nature of the megacorp has changed from exclusively profit driven to like altruism? I don't see it, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why like all of a sudden. I think there's the thought, maybe based on a misunderstanding, that, well, if they want any of this stuff, they're going to have to buy it from us. And spoiler alert, they don't, and they aren't. But they don't want to share. That's never been the goal. And plus, in a world where you can just make your own, and in a world where stablecoins are now, sitting on a regulatory framework that really incentivizes megacorps to just make their own, and really, reap a tremendous amount of profit and benefits from that. That's the way that you do it.
Doug has a really interesting comment. Bitcoin needs to be either below 60K or reclaim 105K, then trade above it for an extended period of time. I assume he means maybe a couple of months for any retail to care. And I think that's pretty spot on. Like that's where the window has shifted to.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to like articulate a particular window, but that makes sense to me. I know personally, if I get a little bit here and there, that's kind of all it is. I have very little interest to the upside there. My average purchase price is $57,000. So if it gets back down into that region, then oh my God, 100%. Absolutely. I don't know. I guess I'm not really holding my breath. I would have expected that to have happened already. We've definitely seen news that's catastrophic sounding enough. But like you said, that ETF squeeze.
Yeah.
So that's been largely it. Nothing like really substantive has come out of this thing, which tracks with the WEF. There was a lot of other stuff on people's minds. There was a lot of chatter about Greenland. We got, tariff reversals. Who could have seen that coming? We immediately changed course on sweeping declaration of broader tariffs across all of Europe. That lasted less than 48 hours. So there was a bit of that, but like as far as the crypto stuff goes, I didn't see anything that made me go, oh, or, ugh. It's just more of the same. What's way more interesting are the two, is juxtaposing the two bills. So the Senate Banking Committee Clarity Bill, the one that did fail ultimately and has now been kind of punted, was rewritten and re-released by the Senate Ag Committee. It's a little bit shorter. They have a lot of similarities, and there's a couple of things that I highlighted as being good news in theory. And we can dig into any of this if there's any interest. Otherwise, I'll just kind of overview the list. So the good news, self-custody wallets are explicitly protected. So in writing.
Key.
I meant to say ding, but it is a key development.
Now I'm going to get into, there's nuance with every single one of these pieces of good news. So just put a pin in that for a second. Pure software development is protected. The creation of code. So publishing code, not regulated. Running nodes and validators, not regulated. Wallet developers, protected. Again, nuance. DeFi protocols might be protected if they're decentralized, which to the weakish definitions in this, no custody of user funds, no control over execution, no admin keys or centralized control, and just autonomous smart contracts.
Yeah. This is looking pretty good for code is law, though.
Kind of.
So far,
there's a really, really big caveat we're going to get to.
Oh, God damn it.
So this is thus far it's clearer than securities laws. There's like it kind of polishes up a little bit of the Howey test confusion in the way that it could be applied to tokenized assets. So that's something. Okay, so first, the nuance to the good news. Self-custody wallets explicitly protected. Kinda. There's a lot of vagueness and now debate over what constitutes real self-custody. So, wallets that have a front end that has enabled some kind of customer support, the ability for passwords to be used, which can be sort of stored or whatever. It basically, like, convenience advancements in the front end department could jeopardize whether or not they deem something to be truly self-custody or decentralized. And to me, that is intentionally done as the attack vector to still be able to take anyone out, because almost nothing qualifies for that. So this, like, software developer protection, the, like, code is speech kind of idea, is all well and good, except for this massive caveat wherein no protections are afforded to centralized or centrally controlled front ends, which is the way that you interact with all of this stuff. So Uniswap is my go-to example. The protocol itself seems to be completely fine, protected. It is not required to register or, provide any sort of user data or do whatever as it's written. However, it is impossible for the average person, and for, I would say, 95% of people interested in using Uniswap, to do that without using the app, the front end, the website, which is a centralized product built by a lab. And that is exactly where I believe they are going to choke out DeFi. By basically making it impossible. You can say, hey, yeah, you can write whatever code you want as long as you can interact directly with it, mint stuff directly from the contract, swap directly via the contract, which most people just simply don't have the technical know-how to do. They're going to squeeze out, the overwhelming majority of DeFi users by heavily cracking down on the front ends used to interact with this code. So that right there puts in jeopardy all of the code that's being written. All of these protocols, what constitutes decentralization. And while we are getting, like, perhaps some clarification to securities laws, the scope of the SEC is getting expanded. So the push here is to choke DeFi and expand surveillance. So centralized controlled entities like crypto exchanges, they are getting a lot more surveillance. It's increasing. Every single transaction needs to be logged and reported. User data, customer information and data, all of that kind of stuff. We're sitting here thinking that perhaps this seems like okay because the SEC now at least has a position of not being hostile towards the industry. But the precedent being set here is that, okay, just give it all to the administration's position seems to be give more authority to regulate and enforce to a body of law enforcement officers, in this case, the SEC and the CFTC, and just trust that at this point, they don't seem interested in doing it, and just allow them to exercise discretion, but, like, hand the power over to them, abdicate responsibility. What do you think is going to happen when the political divide worsens, the rift widens, and a different administration is running those two agencies? I mean, I don't know. It's just stupid. It's a bad idea. It's a weak solution to a complicated problem created by people who don't understand what they're doing. So the bad news outweighs the good news, in my humble opinion here. So, like I said, again, Section 204 of the Ag Bill pretty clearly goes over, transaction monitoring, 5 years of record keeping shared with not just the SEC, but also the CFTC, the DOJ, foreign central banks, and foreign ministries interested in acquiring information as well have a vector. Mandatory qualified digital asset custodians. This language comes up a lot. Exchange brokers and dealers must use approved custodians. You can self-custody, but you cannot trade on regulated platforms until your coins or your tokens go through their custodian. So there's a control element to how these exchanges and regulated entities can custody and who qualifies. That seems like a push for favoritism amongst probably whichever company donates the most to the administration. That's the way that it's been going so far. Self-custody is legal, but it becomes incredibly inconvenient is basically the thing. So like, yes, on paper, it's not being attacked. But in practice, it just becomes harder to use. Registration requirements are kind of starting to cascade here. So exchanges register, brokers register, dealers register, associated persons, meaning like employees who have the authority to solicit an order. DeFi protocols are exempt from this, except that the company running the interface might not be. And that's yet another choke point for DeFi.
Yeah.
Source code, tokenomics, and governance mechanics, also in section 204, has to be public. It doesn't necessarily have to be handed to the government, as I've seen some tweets suggest, but it does have to be public, and there's really not, it's basically the same thing. Easy to acquire. It has to be publicly available. This is kind of interesting. There is a tremendous amount of like exemptions being written in such a way that kind of makes it sound like DeFi is getting protected. And this phrase keeps coming up over and over and over and over again in this bill: regulated entities. DeFi protocols are by nature not regulated entities. So they are yet again squeezed out of something else. So basically what it is creating a gigantic gray area over all of DeFi. And the way that I would imagine this going, it's so you're writing this bill from scratch, right? Like you have the opportunity to set pretty clear rules. If that's not being done, it's because you want the ability to pick and choose who you're going to go after. You want to shift this conversation into the courtroom where you know most people are not going to be able to compete with the federal government. So we're not going to get clarity over a lot of this stuff, over like what kinds of DeFi are allowed and which ones are going to be able to function and operate, probably until somebody gets arrested. And that's definitely going to happen. DeFi is really only protected if there's no custody, no control, no admin keys. But, you know, most DeFi has governance tokens, pause functions, fee switches, upgrade mechanisms. And a lot of that has been built because the government has forced them to. So they've kind of been like maneuvered into a kill box. And now we are basically saying like, all right, now that you're there, that all of that stuff kind of puts you at risk of being regulated further in a way that you cannot comply with. So, you know, the big debate is uniswap.org. Is the website, you know, just an interface? Is it a regular business? Is it an extension of the DeFi protocol? You know, are any protections afforded? We're probably not going to find out until someone from there gets arrested and then has to fight it out in court, which is just going to take years. Remember how fast Ripple in the SEC was? Strap in. Yeah, we're just not going to know till court cases start flying around. We get established precedent. This is what people mean when they say like a bad bill is worse than no bill. This is in general, in my opinion, the way that I'm reading it, and I still have to go through it. I still have to read like more opinions from people smarter than me about how this stuff is written and what it could lead to. But I don't know. It's not good.
It sounds bad.
Sounds bad.
And
so,
you know, Uniswap is a really good example. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I wanted to touch history for a second.
Yeah, just the cherry on top here. So as I've gone through all of this, I have a really hard time thinking about all of this legislation, including Genius, as anything other than just the ultimate squeeze play to choke out DeFi. So, you know, coming from the previous administration, which had the reputation of being, you know, Operation Choke Point, et cetera, you know, just extremely hostile, you know, governing by enforcement, blah, 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 whatever. Just for the record, those all came about with like unwinnable lawsuits that were kind of filed like just to throw a wrench in people's plans, but there was really no solid attack vector. And here the attack vector towards DeFi and like user crypto, the thing that makes it good, is being very specifically targeted and attacked. It's the difference between a spray and pray and like loading someone into the guillotine. So that's extremely concerning. There's a lot of like, this is probably fine. That's probably okay. That kind of code is probably protected. It's unacceptable to have like a fresh bill that leads to that many probablys. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I believe that even if this is passed the way that it stands, which I think has a pretty hard, I don't think that there's a hard road in front of it. Senate Democrats asked for 2 weeks to consider and debate all of the stuff. That was rejected. And so it got punted. And now it looks like we're going to ram something through here. I think that, people are just kind of sick of waiting. But I personally believe that this is going to lead to years of uncertainty and confusion while a bunch of shit gets tied up in the courts and major DeFi protocols figure out how the hell they're supposed to exist. I think that the easiest solution to all of that, for the record, is geo-blocking the United States. So all these companies that were kind of tricked into thinking that they could move to the US and build in a non-hostile environment are either going to have to comply fully with all of these things that they perhaps are unable to comply with, or once again, fuck off. So
for the historical president, I really liked your analogy of the guillotine. Like, before it was like, well, we don't really know. We're just kind of generically against you because we think something's wrong. But this really would create a narrowing of focus that would allow law enforcers to have a more targeted approach. And the historical example is Uniswap has been in this kind of crosshair before. Lawmakers, I don't think they struggle to understand contracts. I think they struggle to accept where the responsibility is when there's a website or app that's curated by a team, when there's a brand marketing it, when there's a company that pays engineers and uses fees captured by tokens to do it, and when they also have choices. Uniswap supports EVM chains, but it could support Solana. They could divert some of their developer money to fund the building of bridges, of swap interfaces. They don't, for very good reasons as a business, but why not? And is that privileging one market participant over another? The code, the smart contracts that make it possible for you to, swap your tokens for mine, that may be fine under the law. I can kind of understand. I don't think it's necessarily malicious on the part of the industrial complex, the legal industrial complex. I think, though, there are people who have a vested desire in influencing the outcome of what is compliant, what is regulated, and what is not. And it just naturally, the way things go, it looks like people who already have power making policies that benefit themselves, not because they are malicious necessarily, but because they think it's what's right to do. I am much more afraid of a person who believes what they are doing is right than I am afraid of somebody who is just crazy or evil. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's much harder.
The whole thing to me just reads like, this is terrifying. DeFi threatens our profit model. DeFi, and we always knew this was always going to be the case. DeFi
I just think that's a facade. I think if it's not a facade, then they've been acting like it's a facade, and nobody's that good of an actor, especially not public figures.
Covering up what?
What I'm saying is, it doesn't appear to me that anyone is outwardly saying that that's the case. If it was the case, somebody would have outwardly said it.
Oh, they have. Oh my God, yes, of course they have.
Because it's how they sincerely feel.
No, they have.
Sincerely feel that way. But I mean the lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
Well, of course not, because they're fucking useless. Those people are meaningless. They are mouthpieces they're the reverse Luther the anger translator. The banking lobby is vocalizing that extremely clearly. The Moynihan just very recently was straight up said verbatim, this is an unmitigated threat that is going to lead to trillions of dollars flowing out of our control. We cannot allow this to happen.
Sure.
Congress, do your thing. Fuck your constituents. Do what I say. And now this bill is here. Congress is not going to say it. That's not how this works. They're not going to say, hey, guys, we have to stick up for the multi-billion-dollar banking profit margin. That would be insane. So, yeah, it is a facade for this, that they're pretending that it's about protecting people. That's the great lie. The great con here.
I don't think they're pretending. I think they believe it. I think the banks might be malicious. I think Jamie Dimon is buying Bitcoin whether he tells us he is or not. But I
Yes.
think Elizabeth Warren sincerely believes, my God, he's right. And I am going to go on CNN today and I'm going to tell you what's wrong with this cryptocurrency because I believe it. She's not acting. She's not acting. She believes it.
I will say we don't know that.
No, but I'm telling you, as a man who's spent most of his life studying the craft of acting, nobody is that good. And it's not just one person. It would have to be everybody on Capitol Hill would have to be that good of an actor.
Okay, so the
Culturally,
caveat here is
sociologically, humans aren't. We aren't good actors. We're sincere creatures.
either it is intentional or they are woefully misinformed.
Yes, of course. And they are misled by people who have a lot of power to move that wheel. Jamie Dimon shows up in a suit. He smells so good. I just know it when I look at him. Brian Armstrong's head probably smells like rosemary. You know what I mean? Like,
Smell like lies.
But my point is that they believe it's what's best. Brian Armstrong,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to lump you in with those guys. I do have conflicting feelings about you, but I appreciate what you do for crypto. You know what I mean, though? Like I think Jamie Dimon is really, whether he believes that what he's doing is right or
Yeah.
not.
No, that's fine. I'll
When
concede
he
that
shows up
immediately.
on Capitol Hill, he's shaking hands and kissing babies.
Yeah, I mean we have both been very clear about the woeful misinformation of most Congress people who are just stupid and don't know what they're talking about and refuse to learn. I think that's really it. It's not that you have like an opinion that conflicts with mine. It's that you refuse to learn, and you have access to anything you want to learn whatever you want. I've always said that. It's disappointing when Congress doesn't use their authority to summon anybody to teach them about a thing that they're responsible for governing. So yeah, that's fine. But I just the reasoning is extremely clear. Whether or not these people are being seduced and swindled by the banking industry, the banks are not pulling any punches.
Okay,
It's straight
Alex.
up, this is robbing our bottom line.
We got this question from Ms. Bliss a while back. Hey, Ms. Bliss. And I want to bring the conversation to this. We ask this question a lot. So what do we do? And I feel like the answer has got to be we use the products and services that were built for us. We learn about them and we help other people learn about them so that if Elizabeth Warren runs into you in the grocery store, instead of hearing crypto is a Ponzi scheme, crypto is a scam, I don't know what makes it valuable, did you buy any, can I sell you some, she hears how DeFi gave you a better savings account, helped you move away from a bank that wouldn't give you a fair deal. I would love to
these are
hear
the
if you have
stories
other
that-
thoughts. That's the story that we need to tell.
That's the story you need to tell. That's the way that I connect with absolutely anyone. If someone asks me or it ever comes up, my immediate position is let's first connect and commiserate over some disenfranchising thing that has happened to the two of us at the hands of our bank, because I promise that everyone in this country has one. You probably don't have to dig that far to think about one time when a bank hurt you in some way by either restricting access to your money. Everyone who has money in a bank account can relate to not being compensated for doing that, even though the only reason that those scumbags make any money is because we let them. That's the conversation. You've been disenfranchised by central banking, and by allowing yourself to, or by being able to maneuver some of your assets into a more community-focused approach, you've been able to actually be compensated for the worth that you bring to the table. That's the magic that needs to be protected. And that's exactly what's being choked, because that's a threat.
Everyone in the comments agrees. Bank of America for me, Sonoran said, had business with personal. Didn't go well. Chris says, thanks, guys. And I would love to maybe also, since we are coming up quick, let's do we've got a giveaway coming up for an Arculus wallet. Let me quickly say this commercial to give folks one more chance. If you haven't filled out the community feedback survey, it'll take about 5 minutes. It's at community.rumshq.com. Tori has been posting the link. Once you get there, you create an account. Takes 2 seconds. Email, password. You're in. Where do I go? Click on literally any channel and just shout, help, where's the form? It's in the general chat. But if you can't find it, I get it. We would love to see you there beyond the forum, beyond your chance to win an Arculus. It's a great place to learn with us things like, where do I take my stable coins to earn yield? Which we will get to in just a second. But it's also a place to get to know us better. And today, when we end the show here, we are going to start the after show there, the Circle after show. where you can get up on stage, talk to us. We've got some great questions surfacing from Bearded, from Jeff Rascal, who are working actively to try and donate to the scholarship, but are encountering some frustration. So I am going to do a live walkthrough of how you can donate to the community scholarship. And one more giveaway I forgot to tell you about. Alex and I teased it yesterday, but we forgot to do the giveaway. If you go to community.rumshq.com, you can ask about it there, or you can head over to rumshq.com, where we have a link for you to sign up for Awaken. This is a crypto tax software being developed by our friend Andrew. He's trying to eat Coinly's lunch, and a lot of people want to know, how do I prep my crypto taxes? What's a taxable transaction? Awaken will take care of it all for you. Alex onboarded Linda. Emily has loaded her wallets. Emily from Trust Issues. Lots of crypto natives we know have said Awaken makes it easier than any software they've used. Alex and I are filing an extension because we're terrified of this. But when we get to it, I bet it's going to make us feel better. If you sign up using our link, you don't have to pay anything until you get a plan. And one person who signs up using our link, we'll announce it sometime next week. We're going to call Andrew. Since we made a mistake, we're going to give you more time. We're going to call Andrew, get him on the show to give us a winner, or just text us, hey, you had 100 people sign up. How about Ms. Bliss? She's the winner. And you'll get a free year of tax prep solutions. That link is at rumshq.com. Our community is community.rumshq.com. Either way, we'd love to see you there. Okay, I think that's enough stalling for now. Is Tori back to pick a number? She's sure not. So let's do this. Alex, final thoughts. Can we talk about just rapid fire places you would go if you want to exit the banking system? Maybe you've got dollars in crypto in a stable coin and you're looking for places to park it to just start earning yield. I said Aave.com, so you can't do that. That's AAVE.com. We've shown it. I'd be glad to show it again. Back to you. I see you, Aave, and raise you.
DeFi Carrot, Morpho, Katana. It depends on the blockchain.
Time, man. Okay, yeah.
High-low. I mean, you can, at this point, you can get stablecoin yield on any major DeFi protocol. So pick the blockchain and go to DeFiLlama.com and click on yields in the sidebar. I will throw it on the screen.
Yeah, I'm going to show it. I'm going to give him a link. We've shown DeFi Llama many times, and we will show it many more. The show is not sponsored by DeFi Llama, but it could be. Alex, give me 2 seconds so I can show TikTok what you're looking at.
Not sponsored, but they are friends of ours now, and that's cool to say.
Podcast land can walk through it by themselves. Even though they've never seen it, they've heard us say exactly this workflow about 1 million times. Take it away, Alex.
DeFiLlama.com, homepage, right here. Yields. Click that. Pop over here to this little search bar. Searching for a token to filter by. We're looking for USDC, or you could do any other stablecoin that you're holding. And right there is a full list sorted by whatever you want to give you a gajillion different places. So there's Merkle, Maple, Aave, Morpho, Fluid, Spark. Forgot about Spark. Curve. There's Camino, Avantis, Radium, Yearn.
And these are sorted right now by total value locked, but you can sort them. Those criteria are by chain, by protocol. You can sort them by the APY they're paying right now, which Alex just did, so we could see the 51,955% right at the top for some wild
the caveat
token I've
here
never heard of.
That's a weird-ass stablecoin that's also tied to some other token on a project I've never heard of with a total TVL of 23 grand.
So that's there's probably one transaction in there that gave them that APY. Somebody paid a killer fee to give us that number.
Yeah, I mean, and you can filter out some of that kind of stuff. You can restrict it by TVL range. So put a minimum TVL. You don't want to look at anything that has under $10 million.
Yeah, that's a great criteria
of TVL here, and then there you go. All of a sudden, the list gets a lot more respectable. Then you can sort by APY and look. So here's some crazy higher, and you can see here too. Like this is a stablecoin play, but it's an ETH USDC pairing.
I am familiar with this pool. This is one of the pools that I recommend people go to when they first start providing liquidity, which is when you put up 2 tokens at once to earn yield. And it's on Uniswap v3. It's on the base network, so you're going to pay a low gas fee, and it requires WETH, which is a wrapped ETH token, ETH on base, and USDC. Most people will have an easy time getting into those tokens. And though it advertises an APY of 137%, this pool tends to fluctuate. Like the average 30-day APY is 55%, but you know, there are other parameters, other things. This is not a set it and forget it thing. And you can do, I see the question, this kind of DeFi play, you can park stablecoins somewhere to earn yield with whatever your favorite stablecoin is. We default to USDC because it has the most options. USDT and DAI, DAI would be the others that if you were looking to do banking things to earn interest, I'd be interested in. What about this this question here? Are all of these audited?
Yes. So the ones on the screen right now that I can see, all of these I know for a fact are audited, but any one protocol before you use it, you should look for audits. And if there are none, then that would be a red flag and a deal breaker for me.
So I'd click into the name of the pool probably.
Also
right?
check the audit, because I have literally seen projects audit themselves through some sort of like owned subsidiary, and the audit itself, which you can go read, but they just kind of hope that no one goes past the fact that it is audited, is straight nonsense. So like read the audit, and then the final step there is to look up the auditor. CertIC would be like a good one that is, regularly used. There's a few kind of like well-known big audit firms.
Alex, can you click into a pool just so I can see, so they can see what on screen to look for to determine, like from this page at least. DeFi Llama does say if it has risk rated a pool according to its criteria, it will have a rating towards the top. And it relies on a partner called Exponential to do another type of risk assessment on pool design, the assets that are in the pool, the different protocols like Uniswap or whatever that they're using, and then the network. They also, I think, will have links to not just the smart contract for the pool, but to the project like curator website. Sometimes they'll have information about if this is like hosted by Uniswap, that's like where it lives or who deployed the contract. But it may also be curated, like on Morpho, the vaults are deployed by Morpho, but they are often curated by people like Gauntlet, A-tier name in our space, super great for curating risk. If I see their name, I honestly don't even look for an audit. I'm like, oh, okay, somebody's got this. I trust them. Steakhouse is one I'm coming to trust. These are the kind of things that if you spend 5 minutes looking at this stuff every day, you're going to be like, oh, Aave, there's Aave again. Oh, Uniswap, there's Uniswap again. You know what I mean? You just start to kind of build familiarity the way you got to build familiarity with me and Alex or the people in the comments here on the show. They're characters in this story. So, you don't have to trust anybody in crypto, but you start to build trust with legitimate people. That was really good, Alex. Is there anything else you want to show before we do a little giveaway for somebody to win an Arculus wallet and call it a day?
Nope. I will say that Bearded asked if a letter could be drafted that could be sent to representatives to express and vocalize concerns about these bills. Yeah, I started one yesterday. I'll share it with you guys when it's done. I have two. One is like really short and the other one is really wordy.
And I would say, how do we feel about Stand With Crypto? I have mixed feelings about their work because I think they represent mostly powerful companies in our industry who would probably benefit from this stuff.
In general, I appreciate the sentiment. I think that the idea is good. I have had personal issues with the way that some politicians' positions have been represented. For example, like younger, more junior politicians who have not taken a stance are always rated as poor when they shouldn't be rated as, they should be rated as unknown. I think that's been being worked on. I brought that up actually when we did like a very brief stint of work with them a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'd like to talk with them more, and I'd like to be involved with them so that I could at least.
I would like to be more involved, yeah, because I'm a little concerned that it's just becoming like an arm for Coinbase to say what they want.
Me too.
I think they have a tremendous amount of influence from Coinbase, and like right now in this instance, Brian Armstrong's interests and ours happen to be aligned, and so he is pushing back against all of this, which is interesting because he's kind of pitted himself against the rest of the industry. So at this point, I'm, the enemy of my enemy kind of a thing. But I don't think I don't trust that to last. And so I hope that we can like maybe find some common ground here in the meantime. Brian Armstrong is in particular like a person that I would really, really love to have lunch with, because I've seen interviews with him like from years ago, and I have like watched him throughout the course of my time in crypto, like evolve into someone who was like running an exchange that was trying really hard to like, make it, to a company that then went public, to a man who became a billionaire, and then, is starting to obviously be influenced by being a billionaire. He's aggressively been invited to like a lot more circles. I can only imagine that that's got to be like a really weird place to be in as like someone who entered that very, very aggressively and quickly. But I am genuinely concerned that he's going to lose the plot.
Callie Call says, I volunteer for Stand With Crypto. We do have aligned interests with Coinbase right now, but we aren't just them. And
I would love to talk sometime.
And our friend Mackie, who runs the Clippers Lounge, is his area's Stand With Crypto representative. I've been trying to get in touch with the Tennessee chapter person, just because they do fund a lot of good crypto outreach and activism. I think I could get them to fund something in Memphis, where I believe a lot of people could benefit from learning about DeFi, crypto, etc. So, Callie Call, if you're not in the community yet, please do jump into...
Can you send me an email, please? So we can, or DM me or whatever. I would like to.
You old school?
Like to talk. Yeah.
Alex is old school. You can reach him by email, alex@rumshq.com. Or
you can DM me here. My DMs are an absolute nightmare. So if I have to go digging for them, you can try. But an email is much preferred. If you
what a risky man.
Swing it.
Yeah, or just get at us in the community, community.rumshq.com. And speaking of community, I need... Tori, I'm looking at the sheet and I see 29 responses. And I see your response in the private chat to pick a number up to 22. So I'm just curious. 22, Tori? 22. I need a number between 1 and 22 in the chat. And then I'm just going to pick one at random that catches my eye. And this is the number of the person Tori will tell me who wins the Arculus wallet today. So let's see some numbers. We've got numbers rolling in. Let me peek over here. YouTube, Facebook, Arculus 14, 18, 1, 2, 3. And, I've seen 18 3 times, Tori. We better do 18. Lucky number 18. And while she tells me who it is, I want to let you know, when you win today, go into the community, community.rumshq.com. Leave us a little message that you won. And Tori has been posting, but I'm sure we will post again, a little spreadsheet form you fill out, and it will get to Arculus, and then we'll send you either your choice. Regular, degular, black and silver Arculus wallet, the black and silver XRP co-branded wallet, or the soon-to-be in production, you'll have to wait a couple weeks, but I think it's going to be worth it, Rum's co-branded wallet. It's going to be a beautiful purple color. It's going to have Alex's face on it, my face on it, and if we can swing it, Will's face extra bold and big so that you can protect your cold storage assets and rep the Rise Up morning show at the same time. So, without further ado, the winner is Jason, a.k.a. Solum Spartan. Congratulations.
Look at that.
The chief gift officer getting a little gift in return. Amazing. Solum, congratulations. We appreciate you for all you do, and we want you to send us a little note. Get your information on that form, and we will get your choice of a wallet. And, Jason, I said this last night, but I'll say it again to you. I'm probably not going to use this particular wallet. It's still sealed. You can check it. I didn't take the seed phrase off of it. They sent us this when they launched the XRP wallet. I already have an Arculus wallet that works great. I would be willing to sign Alex's name on this, like an autograph, Alex RP, and then I'll send it to you if you want this one. But I hope you choose a purple wallet. That would be great. That would be really great. Okay. Alex, have you got a final thought before we head over to the Circle community and launch the after show?
Nope. But yeah, I think I hopefully this like overview of these bills for me. Granted, I know that I'm very spun up about it, but I'm doing my best to be objective. There's hundreds and hundreds of pages to be read. This is where I'm at so far. When people say that they don't care about politics, I just want you to remember that you may not care about it, but it cares about you, and it doesn't like you. And it is, I mean, pick your thing. Pick the thing that you need in your life to make you more okay. And I guarantee there is a political angle to prevent that from happening, because it's not in the government's best interest for you to be okay. So read the bills, voice your concerns. If you need help voicing concerns, we're here for you. This is the spot. Let me know. I'm going to die on this hill.
Excellent.
I will absolutely die on this hill.
I'll be right there next to you, man. My final thought is to say one last time, community.rumshq.com. If you have a question about Arculus cold storage wallets, if you have a question about bills and policy, if you just want to spend some time and get to know us better while you become a safe, confident crypto user, I promise you there is somebody who will be your friend there. Somebody who looks or lives like you, where you are, and somebody who is on the other side of the world and totally different. We have 80-year-olds conversing with 18-year-olds, experts and amateurs and everybody in between. Nobody's going to try to sell you a junkie token. And if you can't make it there, then we'll see you back here. Same time, same place next week for another great Rise Up morning show. So until then, everybody, thank you for being the very best part of what we do. Stay safe and warm this weekend. Be well. Until next time, my friends, rise up.